Hello all, welcome to the next video in this series where we'll talk about table and field mapping between Dynamics 365 Sales, which is CRM, and Business Central Online. So thank you for all your comments and questions that I'm receiving from social media accounts or from the comment sections. I'll try to cover all those questions as they had been asked. In this video, we'll try to understand those mappings, as in, yes, we were able to integrate two systems by deploying a solution in our CRM and completing a setup in our Business Central after completing the Dataverse integration. But records are unique, and how Business Central will understand or CRM will understand about these changes. And that process is something which is discussed today, and we'll understand how that works. So without wasting further time, let's get right into it. So before I move forward, if you have watched the previous video, let me quickly show you that we were talking about a table business unit, which we forgot to see last time. When you run that table, as we have completed our integration setup, we should see one more record now for our Business Central entity, which is here. Now it says that there's an business unit, which is Cronus USA, which is my BC company, with the GUID or GUID of that company name, and that is linked to a parent business, which is the company name. Now, if you have renamed the company in Business Central, which as per our one of the video in our channel, you'll see that you cannot rename a company in SaaS, but if you're connecting on-prem and you rename the company, still nothing changes here because the integration is running based on this ID, which cannot be changed. So you don't have to kind of worry about that piece if you do that on-prem. Okay, so let's come back here and let's open our Microsoft Dynamics 365, something like that. Connection setup. Here is where we left last time. So let's see what tables are being synchronized by the base Microsoft integration. So when you click on integration table mapping, that shows you the list of table that has been set up to configure and set up to integrate between these two solutions. So let's understand this area first. This is the name of the table. This is the filter. Now let's see what the filter is. This is the filter on your Business Central side, where the contact table will only synchronize contact of type person, and where the company number is not equal to blank. Then it talks about the direction, how you want to synchronize this. A direction bidirectional means that any changes on Business Central side will be synchronized to CRM, and any changes on CRM side will be synchronized to Business Central. The other options are to integration table. That means any change on Business Central will only synchronize to CRM, and from integration table means any changes on CRM will update here in Business Central. So based on different table types and the business requirement, these setups are done. So each table is either bidirectional, which keeps sync both the ways, and you have to keep the data both the ways. To integration table is any update on Business Central goes to CRM, and from means any update on CRM comes to Business Central. Then here it gives you the name of the table on CRM, which is Dataverse contact. So Dataverse contact versus contact, or not versus, is synchronized with the contact table in Business Central. If you move forward, it will tell you what filters are being applied on this table during this synchronization. So let's look at that. It tells you that the Dataverse contact should be active, the company name should not be blank, and the parent customer type should be account, and the company ID should be this, which is the unique GUID for the company in CRM. So this is the filter that comes by default. Then there's a boolean called sync only coupled record. Now what is a coupled record? A coupled record is where there is a one-to-one mapping between a Business Central record and a CRM record. So anytime you're synchronizing bidirectional, you will notice that, and you should always couple synchronize records only. There can be other settings which we'll talk about in a while. Then what field it integrates to and what is the field type, which is keyword in Business Central. Then this is the table configuration template code. Whenever a new record is created in Business Central that is coming from CRM, is there a Business Central template for contact that you would like to utilize? You can define it here, and so on and so forth. Like you can see, I'm pretty sure there will be some for customer. So whenever a new customer which gets created in CRM and synchronized in Business Central, this selected template will be used to set up other default fields. In the similar way, the integration table configuration tells about what happens when a new record is created in Business Central and it gets pushed in CRM. Then in CRM, these templates are used. So you can define that on business logic that you need. Then these are two modified on filter, which just talks about the which record should be synced after on which modified date, and those will be synced, and those are your system date and time field on both the system. Now the next two field talk about what happens if a record is deleted in one of the system. Then do you want to restore the record if it is deleted, or do you want to delete the coupling? That means you want to delete the relationship on the other side. Again, it's a business decision, you can take that call. Now this is about update. What happens when an update happens? Which one takes priority? Is that the integration table or is the Business Central takes the priority? Again, a business decision where you can set this up. And this is what disable event based synchronization, which means if there are code written which will force a synchronization, do you want to disable that and only run it on its schedule, or do you want to turn it on? In the same way, for all these entities or tables, the synchronization has been done, which is suggested by Microsoft as per the code written. If you have a different setup, you can change the setup a little bit as per your need. Like you can change the direction if needed. Let's suppose you are using your customer is using CRM and they are implementing BC for the first time. So then your CRM becomes the source of all your master records like contacts, customers, vendors, and other things. Then you will pull all the data from CRM and create those records in Business Central. That's another requirement. If they have both the solution and they just want to integrate, this is what's suggested by Microsoft at this moment. You are allowed to change the setup if needed, and in future we'll talk about how you add custom entities and custom fields. Now we did talk about the tables, but what about the fields in it? Because yes, tables are synchronized, but I'm pretty sure the fields are not exactly same as they are in both the systems. So you can choose a table or a entity in this and then go into mapping and then go into fields. Once you go into the fields, let's go to the customer one. You will see the field mapping between both the system, and the rules again remain same. The field number here in BC, the field name here in Business Central, and then this is the integration table number and integration field name. And then this is the direction which talks about where this field value is going to move. So it's not just about the table, it's also about the fields. So if you look at it, the first two fields are going to integration table and not coming back to Business Central, whereas these are bidirectional till the second last field, which means any changes on either of the side will be synchronized to the other side. If there's a constant value to a field that you want to assign, you can define that here like this. And if there are transformation rules, which are not so common in Business Central, but in CRM, there are a lot of transformation tools, rules which you can apply, like alphanumeric text only, delete non-provided values, and so on and so forth. So you can utilize these based on your CRM requirements. How these transformation rules are applied? So transformation rules are also bidirectional. You can say that these rules will only apply when coming from X system to Y system, and so on and so forth. So this will allow you to change that transformation direction. This is the rules that will get applied on which direction. So this tells you where this applies. The only two options are to integration table and from. There's no bidirectional. Typically you'll see all these are going to CRM transformation rule. I haven't tested it out, but I'm pretty sure if you work or utilize those rules, those are written in code that they get applied. Now next is validate field, which applies to Business Central, that whenever a new value is assigned to any of these fields, do you want to call the on validate trigger of that? If yes, then enable it. Same here, do you want to call the validation on Dynamics 365 sales or CRM side? If yes, then enable it. This is clear value on failed. If something fails, what need to happen on that field? And not null means that need to have a value in Business Central or CRM when that's being synchronized. So when you set up synchronization between entities, there are two things that you need to keep in mind. One is the tables that are being synchronized, and another is the individual fields that are being synchronized between those entities. And what is the relationship between both the fields? This process is defining how your records will be related. The records are not yet related at this moment. Now you might have a question at this point that, Saurabh, you did show us the fields, but how Business Central knows that 29 field is 109 there? This is by default coming from the setup, but at this point, as you created the connection between two systems, there are some virtual tables which got created in Business Central, and I'll walk you through around it in a while. Okay, let's see what else is there. Next is synchronize. The first tab is synchronization. Or let me go back here. So we saw this. We have already coupled the salesperson, so that completes that. Synchronization enables or activates your data transfer between the two systems. This option will only synchronize the modified record after the last time you ran the synchronization. And then this shows you all the job queue entries which are related to this sync. So let's click on this and see if we can see that. Okay. So the synchronization also works based on your job queue entries, and there are different synchronization job queue entries which are created per entity. So if you look at it, the description will talk more about it. The first one is customer data with synchronization job, which will synchronize the data related to customer and vendor and contact and salesperson and currency and so on and so forth. And they are scheduled to run after every 30 minutes. So they'll keep on running. They all are pointing to the same code unit, which is a code unit 5339, and we'll get into it other than one, which is 5350 on customer stats synchronization. A skipped sync record. So anything that is already synchronized, you don't want to do that, you can click on that. What is it in the cloud migration? It says rebuild coupling table. So if you are upgrading after Business Central 14, then you need to, after the upgrade, you have to click on this rebuild coupling table, so the coupling setups are regenerated after the whole AL change that happened in Business Central 14. So that kind of covers the whole menu. Going in here, you will see the entities or tables that are there, and also their direction and even their fields if needed. Now let's talk about coupling and uncoupling. So the way the records of two systems are connected to each other, that process is called coupling. Now each table can have different kind of coupling. One is called match-based coupling, which means make coupling between the selected Business Center table and the integration table based on a matching criteria that you define that, okay, this field matches to this field. That means they are the same table, same record, and you can map them. What is this one? View the status of match-based coupling record. So if I click on it, I see nothing, and it says one failed. And why this is one failed? Because there is no match-based coupling defined. Okay, so we'll come to it in a while. Now, as I was saying, that how this what Where is that? Fields. How system knows about these fields? So what happens is, let me open my VS Code and see if I have some project open somewhere. Okay, I think I have some project open somewhere. It's not related to CRM, but what I wanted to show you in your base application, when you click on it, or maybe let's go into our AL2 AL Explorer. When you go into your AL Explorer, you'll see all the tables or all the objects that you have in your different application or in the projects that you have. So if you haven't seen the AL Explorer video, go into the shorts video or the reels video and you'll be able to see it. What we are looking at is on the base application, and what we would like to search is something where the word CRM is there. And I don't want to see the events. I just want to see the objects where there is CRM. You will notice that there are a lot of okay, where are those tables? Okay, so let me try to change the sorting based on type. Okay, so if you look at it, there are so many tables that are available, and some now you will may be able to relate, right? So like you have let's see the relationship here. The relationship is between the data verse contact and the contact table. So there should be a data verse or CRM contact table. Here it is. Now if you open the source code of this, you will see that the caption of the table is called data verse contact and the table name is CRM contact. The only difference between this table and a normal table is the table name, table type is called CRM. The beauty of this table type is that this table does not exist in your Business Central environment. If you go back in your SQL Server, you'll not see this table in there. These are virtual tables. These mimic the structure of your CRM table as it is. So whatever your CRM contact table look like in your CRM, that will be replicated here as it is, and they have different properties. Like they have, let's look at it here on the top. They have the caption, description, external name, which is the CRM name, external type, what is the init value, and what are the option values and all, if it's an option field. If there is a relationship, that will also be defined here based on the, again, a virtual table called CRM price level. So all this what you see here is a table which actually represent a CRM table in Business Central, and it's a virtual table. And to support this, you will also see that there are some pages which are also available. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look at the CRM. Okay. CRM account, it should be a page. No? Okay, let's look at one of the table called product list, page product list. Now this is based on, again, on a virtual table called CRM product, and it's just a page which is helps you to see the data if you want on that virtual table called CRM product. It is set to edit table false, and it is a list page, as you can see. It does not contain all the fields. It contained fields which Microsoft decided that they wanted to show. And on top of it, there are two actions or filters, more or less, to show only uncoupled records versus show all records. And then these are the promoted areas, and then there is some code available. We might come to it in a while. Not today, maybe some other video. So with the base Microsoft base application, you get all these virtual table already built in. So you can actually search them, those pages, in your Business Central environment, and what you will be able to see is the data that is available in CRM in the real time here. Now, as you saw those two actions, those are here, hide coupled contacts if there are any, and it says show coupled contacts. So once you apply that filter, if there is anything that is coupled, will be visible here. Okay. It is not seems to be working at this point, but it should. As in show couple contacts, it should show only couple contacts. Hide couple contacts, it should hide those contacts. And then there is this action to create contact in Business Central. Once you create a contact in Business Central, that eventually creates a new contact in Business Central at that moment. So in the similar way, you'll be able to see all these tables in your Business Central as it is, using these virtual pages again, or pages, which allows you to see all that data. So these are the products in CRM which are not surely in BC at this moment. Now, once you enable the integration, and if you go back to these tables like customers and vendor, there are two actions which will also be visible to you. One, there should be a field which is visible now called coupled to dataverse, which tells you which of these customers are already coupled with a record in CRM. And if it is not checked, that means it's not coupled. And then there is also an action somewhere of, and I'm bad with menus, to the whole synchronization menu, where you can define the coupling, where you can synchronize the records, and you can also see the data that's available in the CRM table. Now, I don't want to create a coupling. So that's how the CRM kind of integrates with Business Central based on these table mappings and these virtual table which are part of the system at that moment. So what we'll do in the next video is we'll try to set up the coupling between these different entities, and then we'll try to synchronize and see how standard Microsoft synchronization work. So hopefully you like something, you learned something on this video. If you like the content, hit the like button. If you think you have friends and colleagues who will learn with this, do hit the share button and share it on your social media account. And if you haven't, please do subscribe to this channel, and please keep adding questions into the comment sections. That'll help us to build the Q&A video if required. Thank you. Have a nice day.